Welcome dears, this is the second session in Unit 15, what we have started the previous time. Can you remember when we talked about the imaginary situations, which I expressed by using the second conditional if case? If plus past verb, the second sentence would, could or might plus infinitive. Can you remember? Let's remember together. Number 1, if you space 3 months to travel, where space you space. So how can I answer this sentence? If you, in the same sentence of if, I must have past verb because it's imaginary. Actually, I have no month to travel now. We are studying. So if you had, the past of have, had, if you had 3 months to travel, where the second sentence must have would, could or might plus infinitive, so it will be where would you go? B. Oh, that's easy. I space to Europe. I've always wanted to go there. So the answer here about the first question, where would you go? It will be I'd fly to Europe. I'd fly to Europe. At here is abbreviation of I would. I would fly to Europe. Number 2, if your doctor space you to get more exercise, which sport space you space. The same idea here also, the same sentence of if must have past verb. So if your doctor told you to get more exercise, told you to get more exercise, which sport would you choose? Would you choose? B. I'm not sure, but I space go jogging 2 or 3 times a week. But I would go. Would go. Number 3, what space you space if your teacher space you and a by mistake. Again, what would you do? What would you do? What would you do? If your teacher, what's the past of give? It will be gave. G-A-V-E. Gave you an A by mistake. B. Of course. I space something right away. I space something right away. I'd say, because the question is what would you do? So I would say, what would you do? I would say. Number 4, A space you space into your house if you space yourself out. Space yourself out. So would you break into your house if you locked yourself out? B. If I space another key, I ask a neighbor for help. I ask a neighbor for help. If I didn't have another key, I'd ask a neighbor for help. I'd ask a neighbor for help. Number 5, if your friend space to marry someone you didn't trust, space you space something. If your friend wanted to marry someone you didn't trust, wanted, would you say something? Would you say something? No, I wouldn't say anything. No, I wouldn't say anything. I would mind my own business. I would mind my own business. Number 6, and the last one. What would you do if you saw your favorite movie star on the street? I wouldn't be shy. I wouldn't be shy. I'd ask for a photo and an autograph. Again, I wouldn't be shy. I would ask for a photo and an autograph. This slide helps us to refresh our minds before starting. Here we search for the opposite of each verb. So this is the first task, to find the opposite. After finding the opposite, we will use a pair of opposites in one sentence. Pair of opposites in one sentence, like the example down. Look, I can never save money, so I use the verb save because I spend all of it on clothes. Save, opposite spend, and we use both of them in one sentence. This is the second task. Let's do the first one. What's opposite accept? Refuse. Accept, say yes. Refuse, say no. What's opposite dislike? Dislike, enjoy. Dislike, enjoy. Fine, opposite lose. Admit, opposite deny. What is the meaning of admit and deny? Admit, to assure and say yes, I do it, where I know the information. Now you admit. Deny, to know and say I don't know, where to do some action and say I didn't do this action. Like the thief in the police station, the police officer tries to make the thief admit. Tries to make the thief admit, but the thief denies all the time. Denies, no, I didn't do it, I didn't do it, I didn't do this crime. Yes? So what's opposite forget? Remember. Forget, remember. Marry, divorce. Marry, divorce. Save, spend. Save money, spend money. Agree, disagree. Agree, disagree. Lend, borrow. Lend, borrow. Let's read the example again. I can never save money because I spend all of it on clothes. Can we make another example now? Yes. So what is it? I do like to lend you the pen because I borrowed that from my sister. I do like to lend you the pen because I borrowed that from my sister. Yes? Okay. Listening skill is important in learning English, so try to improve it and work on it in order to learn quickly and in order to speak well. So if you listen well, you can speak well. I have exercise. It's about tough predicaments. What's the meaning of tough predicaments? Hard or difficult situation that you are in. Listen now, focus, and try to order the problems or the situations down in the table. Put them in order. This is the task. Okay, let's listen.
Page 101, Exercise 4, Listening. Tough Predicaments. Part A. Listen to 3 people talk about predicaments. Number them from 1 to 3 in the order they are discussed. 1.
I just got a postcard from my friend Carrie. She lost all her money on vacation in Europe. Isn't that horrible?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Jane, what would you do if you were on vacation overseas and you lost all your money in credit cards?
I guess I'd call my parents and ask them to send me some money right away. What about you, Bert?
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. Although, maybe I'd try going to the embassy or consulate to see if they could help me. What about you, Susan?
Well, I guess I'd probably sell my watch and camera. Or I might get a job as a waitress somewhere till I made enough money to buy a plane ticket home.
2.
You know, I'm really worried about Carol.
Why?
Well, I think she has a serious shopping problem.
Really?
Yes, she keeps buying things and putting everything on her credit card. I don't think she realizes how hard it's going to be to pay all the money back. I don't know what to do. What would you do if you discovered a friend had major financial problems?
Oh, no question. I'd talk to her about it.
Oh, I don't think I would.
Why not?
Well, because it's really none of my business. I wouldn't tell a friend what to do in that type of situation, so I wouldn't say or do anything about it.
Well, I think I'd probably talk to her family about it. It's a personal problem and they should try to help her first.
3.
You know, I was faced with a tough situation the other day. I was walking down the street and saw 2 people fighting. It looked pretty violent, but I didn't know what to do, so I just walked away. I figured it was none of my business, but now I think I should have done something. What would you do if you saw 2 people fighting on the street?
I'm not really sure, but I know I'd have to do something. I guess I would call the police.
No, that takes too long. I'd try to break it up.
But you could get hurt if you did that.
Well, then I'd try to get someone to help me break it up. In the meantime, I'd shout for someone to call the police.
I think it's very easy to determine what's the first predicament and what's the second, what's the third. It's very easy now. Let's move to another task to determine what are the suggestions, the ideas that people say in this audio. But at first, let me show you. Is your answer correct now? A friend lost all her money while traveling. This is the first predicament. The second one, a friend has a serious shopping problem. The third one, 2 people were fighting in the street. Listen again, please. But the task now is different. You must determine the suggestions that people give in the record or in the audio. Yes? What suggestions do people give for each predicament?
Page 101, Exercise 4, Part B. Listen again. What suggestions do the people give for each predicament? Take notes. Which is the best suggestion? 1.
I just got a postcard from my friend Carrie. She lost all her money on vacation in Europe. Isn't that horrible?
Yeah, that's terrible.
Jane, what would you do if you were on vacation overseas and you lost all your money in credit cards?
I guess I'd call my parents and ask them to send me some money right away. What about you, Bert?
Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. Although, maybe I'd try going to the embassy or consulate to see if they could help me. What about you, Susan?
Well, I guess I'd probably sell my watch and camera. Or I might get a job as a waitress somewhere till I made enough money to buy a plane ticket home.
2.
You know, I'm really worried about Carol.
Why?
Well, I think she has a serious shopping problem.
Really?
Yes, she keeps buying things and putting everything on her credit card. I don't think she realizes how hard it's going to be to pay all the money back. I don't know what to do. What would you do if you discovered a friend had major financial problems?
Oh, no question. I'd talk to her about it.
Oh, I don't think I would.
Why not?
Well, because it's really none of my business. I wouldn't tell a friend what to do in that type of situation, so I wouldn't say or do anything about it.
Well, I think I'd probably talk to her family about it. It's a personal problem and they should try to help her first.
3.
You know, I was faced with a tough situation the other day. I was walking down the street and saw two people fighting. It looked pretty violent, but I didn't know what to do, so I just walked away. I figured it was none of my business, but now I think I should have done something. What would you do if you saw two people fighting on the street?
I'm not really sure, but I know I'd have to do something. I guess I would call the police.
No, that takes too long. I'd try to break it up.
But you could get hurt if you did that.
Well, then I'd try to get someone to help me break it up. In the meantime, I'd shout for someone to call the police.
Can you determine now what are the suggestions? Did you take notes? Okay. This is the first situation. This is the first predicament. Jane and Bert would call their parents and ask them to send money. This is a suggestion, to call our parents if we lost our money. Bert might also try going to the embassy or consulate. You know, embassy, it's the building. If you are in a foreigner country, this building is responsible for you there. Egyptian embassy, American embassy, in each country we have embassy. To see if they could help him. Yes, so this is the second suggestion about losing money. The third, Susan would probably sell her watch and camera or get a job as a waitress. So you can go to the embassy or the consulate, the building that's responsible for you in each country. Call your parents, ask them to send money, or sell watch or camera, or get a job as waiter or waitress as it possible. These are the suggestions for the first predicament. What about the second? Jane would talk to her friend about it. Bert wouldn't say or do anything because it's none of his business. If your friend has financial issue or financial problem, are you brave enough to talk to him about that or not? We have here Bert wouldn't say or do anything because it's none of his business. Yes, Susan would probably talk to her friends, family. It's okay. What can you do in this situation? You can write down and tell me later. Number 3, Jane would call the police. Bert would try to break it up or get someone to help him. He would also shout for someone to call the police. Okay, so if you find two people are fighting in the street, what can you do? What's your suggestion for this problem or for this predicament? tell me later. Okay? Look at this picture. What can you see here? Yes, a boy is sitting. Where is he sitting? He's sitting on the sofa or couch. They have the same meaning, sofa or couch. Yes. The drink, maybe juice, maybe tea. Okay. What do you think about the boy? How does he feel? Does he feel happy? Does he feel sad? Does he feel nervous? How can I describe his feeling now? He said, I felt terrible. I felt terrible. Why? Do you think he is afraid of his parent? What did you do on the sofa or on the couch? Maybe. Or he is nervous in order the couch now is not clean and he needs to clean it. What do you think? Let's read and know now. What a disaster! Disaster, it's a big wrong action happened. Disaster. I spilled the juice on my parents' new couch. So what's the disaster now? Spill the juice or the couch is new? They weren't home. His parents weren't home. So I just turned the cushions over. What's the meaning of cushion? The part of the couch. It's movable. I can move. The cushion is turned over. This is the solution. What should I have done? What should I have done? Can we choose now? Number 1, you should have told them about it. You should have cleaned it immediately. You should have offered to buy them a new couch. What would you do? What should you have done here? What should you have done here? Now I asked you 2 questions. What would you do? What should you have done? What's the difference? We will see next slide. But in this situation, what will you do here? You should have told them. You should have cleaned. You should have offered to buy them a new couch. I think I know your mind now thinking. I should have cleaned it. Then after they returned back, I should have told them about it. Yes? Okay. What about the second here? I forgot my best friend's birthday. I feel terrible. So, you feel terrible when you did wrong action or when you forgot something that's important or when you spoiled something. I forgot my best friend's birthday. I felt terrible. I felt terrible. So I sent him a text to apologize. What would you have done? What would you have done? I'd have called him right away. Just a calling. I'd have sent him a nice birthday present. I'd have invited him out for a meal. For me, I would choose 2 and 3 together. I'd have sent him a nice birthday present. I'd have invited him out for a meal. What about you? How can I give suggestion or opinion about actions in the past? At first, I use would have or should have. You would have or you should have. I should have, I would have, yes. Plus past participle, it is the third form of the verb. Would have or should have plus past participle. What about the example here? You would have told, you would have told, would have plus past participle, it's the third form. You would have told the teacher about your problem. The teacher about your problem. Here, this is the opinion about the action in the past. Yes. Did he tell the teacher? No. He didn't tell the teacher, but this is opinion or suggestion in the past. Yes. Complete the conversation. I have here exercise to apply our rule would have, should have plus past participle to express my opinion or suggestion in the past. The first one, I'll answer with you the first one, then I leave the rest of the conversation for you to practice. Okay? The first one, the cashier gave me too much change. What should have plus past participle, the third form of the verb. Do, did, done. So what should have done? What should have done? B, you should have plus past participle. What's the past participle of say? Said. You should have said something. You shouldn't have taken the money. I'll leave for you 2, 3 and 4 to answer. Next time inshallah we will check. Thank you for following. Goodbye.